Hi everyone, I'm Barbara Lopez Kuntz and I'm here with Sandy Milligan, and we've been talking about DIA in 2015. DIA continues to do amazing things after 50 years of our history, and I'm really proud to be part of this organization that is so important to advancing the science of healthcare products.
I think it's really incredible what we've done this year in bringing together the constituencies around the healthcare development programs and life cycle management that all of our membership communities and companies are involved in.
I remember years ago when people were so specifically focused on their silo. And it's been remarkable to look at the progress that's being made to break down the walls between those silos and to bring in people who need to be involved in that conversation. So for example, it used to be industry and regulators. Now we have industry, regulators, academic organizations, we have patient groups. And DIA has been doing a remarkable job to make sure that not only are those walls broken down, but when people come to the table, they have the context to be able to participate. So for example, you mentioned patient groups. DIA has been heavily involved for more than a decade in bringing patients to the table and making sure that the patient groups understand the context of drug development.
Well, what I think is amazing about DIA as well is the fact that it can mean so many different things to each participant, whether it's a member, whether it's a volunteer, whether it's an attendee at a conference. I think depending where you are in that curve of your own professional development will mean that you take away different pieces of information or experiences at DIA engagements. I think it's remarkable that some of my folks, my staff that are more junior in their career, they come to DIA for learning opportunities. They really get the nuts and bolts, the cutting edge thinking of the different stakeholders that are coming to share their information. I think as people progress in their careers and become more proficient in their own specialties, they come to DIA to exchange information and, as you mentioned, build on the information that we all have. And when we share that information, we actually create the regulatory science and momentum that will bring the healthcare products to the patients faster.
So when you think about a discussion that might be appropriate for a key decision maker versus someone who's in their first years of their career, the content that we try to put together in our annual meetings and in our courses is carefully designed so that when people come, they take something away. We had a very interesting experience this year where we co-hosted with a number of other organizations an international conversation on new healthcare models. It was an invitation-only conference for key decision makers, and we had an amazing turnout. 150 people came from all around the world to advance that conversation, and it was perhaps a new experiment that we tried that really was successful and really confirmed for us that having specific conversations where people who are working at that sort of dynamic change area of healthcare development, they want to be able to work together to exchange information and to advance regulatory science.
And what I appreciate about all the forums and discussions and platforms that DIA offers is that the folks participating in those conversations, as soon as they step onto that podium, as soon as they step onto that stage, they're willing to have that transparent conversation. They're willing to maybe be a little bit at risk and share information that they usually hold close to the vest in order to facilitate a more fruitful dialogue for all the participants plus the other stakeholders involved in that conversation.
And you know that is a hallmark of DIA, from the origins of DIA, protecting our neutrality and maintaining that neutral environment where people can come together in a safe way and openly share their knowledge to advance the science. That's a critical hallmark of what makes DIA successful.
As president and chairman of the board, it's been such an honor to be part of an organization with an excellent leadership team.
I'd like to thank you for your volunteerism to DIA, and I'd like to thank everyone who's listening for being part of DIA. We're coming to the end of the calendar year and the holiday season, and I'd like to wish you a happy holiday and wish everyone a very, very happy holiday season with your family and friends. Thank you so much.